It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang. Y'all are not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you about my date last night. The guy that I went on the date with, I had met him very organically. I didn't meet him on a dating app. I met him back in March. I don't know. It's been months. And I was just in a restaurant eating my meal by myself. He was in a restaurant eating his meal by himself. And we just saw something that was funny. And we both laughed at it. And then we got to talking. And we spent about 45 minutes sitting there talking and laughing. No pressure. There was no asking, what's your name? Where do you live? Where do you work? Are you single? None of that. We were just simply talking and having a good time. Just two strangers talking and enjoying each other's company. And at the end of my meal, I got ready to go, and he snatched my ticket when the staff gave me my bill. He said, no, my treat. He said, I've had such a nice time. Please let me pay. And I was like, oh, that's not necessary, really. I've enjoyed the company. And he said, no, I'd really like to. So he paid for my meal.
That's a gentleman.
And I was like, oh, well, that was nice. Thank you so much. And I'm not a cheap date by myself because I had a nice meal that night. I usually eat, when I go to that restaurant, I usually eat the salmon. And so he paid my bill. I was very thankful. And I put my hand out. Well, my name is Dolly. He told me his name. And then he said, could I have your phone number? And I was like, oh, are you single? He said, I am. I said, well then, that's real handy because I'm single too. We traded phone numbers. And again, though, our whole time getting to know each other and talking and enjoying each other's company there was never any talk of that. For all I knew, this man was married. We weren't flirting. We were just enjoying each other's company and having a good laugh about lots of different things and just having a good time. And so that was a really nice way to meet someone because it wasn't under the pretense, are you single? It was just two people enjoying a good laugh and at something and enjoying conversation. And so we swapped phone numbers, and I heard from him a couple of times, but he worked a lot. He works at the hospital. He works on call a lot. So I didn't hear much from him. He did text a few times. We talked on the phone once or twice, and then he just kind of disappeared. And I hadn't really heard from him. And this past week, he called me and said, hey, I'm at a different hospital. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's transferred hospitals. And he said, and I really don't know anyone here. And they're having a big hospital gala. And I'd like to know if you'd like to go with me. And I was like, yeah, that's not too far. It's like an hour and 20 minutes away. And I was like, okay,
that's far.
Sure, I'm up for that. He said, it's a hospital gala, and it says it's suit and tie. I said, not to worry. I got that. I'll be fine. He said, okay. So I went with him last night. I met him there. We got there. He was very handsome in a nice suit. And I had on my great dress. I really do like that dress. So I had that new dress on. And we went in, and they was all catered, big fancy affair with tablecloths and lots of service. They must have had maybe the kids from the country club, the parents that volunteered all the kids, and so we had all the teenagers, high school students. It looked like they were serving all in professional, catering outfits. It was actually very cute to see all the teenagers, and they waited on us, served everyone, got the prime rib, so everyone got the same meal. It was delicious, by the way. I don't know who catered it, but it was delicious. And key lime pie for dessert. And the hospital, several folks got up and gave speeches, thanked the community and thanked the doctors and the staff and the support staff. And then a couple of patients who got up and spoke about how wonderful the hospital treated them and saved their lives. And then after our meal, they introduced a guest entertainment. They had flown in a Bob Hope impersonator from Las Vegas, and he got up on stage and did a fabulous job, knocked it out of the park. I mean, very easily would have thought Bob Hope was on that stage. And he did like a whole USO tour thing, and just really entertaining, educational, and heartwarming, wholesome fun. And we sat there and watched the show and had a great time. I met my date's co-workers, boss, a couple of the very high-ranking hospital officials, and it was very nice and very well done. Afterwards, we were going to go. He asked. He didn't want to end the date. He asked if I would go have a glass of wine with them. There was a little wine bar near there. So I said to him, "This is a small community that may not be open." And he said, "Well, we'll go see." He said, "I don't know. I haven't been here very long. You know, the months." He said, "I've been here a few months, but all I do is go to work and go home. You know, I don't really get to go out and look around." So we went to where he thought this was, and of course it was closed. So we kind of laughed about, well, you don't have to worry about out scooter pooting around this town after dark because it's a small community. And we just had a nice time. We talked, waiting in the car for a little bit, talked about 10-15 minutes, had a nice conversation. I really like him. I liked him the first time I met him. And so
this is a good date.
The end,
Two good dates.
Walked me over to my car. It gave me a kiss goodnight, and I drove home. And I would hope that he will call and invite me out again somewhere. Maybe we won't be going all fancy-dancy to the hospital gala.
That was good.
Maybe we can go out again. So that was a good date. One for us. We win one. And it was a great time, too. I mean, to get to see the Bob Hope impersonator and have that beautiful meal in such a lovely environment and everyone else all dressed up to the nines. It was very nice. It was a nice date. And just overall nice date, good company. And of course, this guy's, is super intelligent. So I think I think smart is sexy. And so he's good looking on his own, but then toss in he's intelligent too. That's a nice thing. So this is a guy I could look up to. This is ladies, let's face it. We're not looking for someone we lead around. We're looking for someone to lead us. All of our feminism, the reason I know how to get it all done by myself is because the only one who's going to get it done is me, myself. But something internally in us, we do want someone we can look up to. And this guy certainly qualifies for that. Now, he might turn out to be a lying, cheating snake. I mean, we don't know yet. But on the surface, this is a good guy.
He sounds married.
And I do enjoy his company, so I do hope that there's another
single
date. I don't know if I should call it if this was a first date or a second date, because the first one, remember, we met as strangers and just enjoyed a meal together and had a great conversation. I don't know. I guess technically that's a date. Is that a date? Is that
the second was the first
So
date.
Was this our first date or our second date? I'll leave that for y'all to decide. And hopefully there'll be a third date. So that's where we're at. All right, that's what happened. But it was a really nice to go to that gala because the gala was done very well. The hospital gala was beautifully done. I'm really impressed with that. So this wasn't, Chuck E. Cheese. This wasn't, McDonald's. This was well done. It was time for a nice date like that. So getting all fancy and going out. That was very nice and lots of fun. And again, I was so impressed and tickled. What a heartwarming thing to be entertained by a Bob Hope impersonator. And that show went on for, I don't know, a good hour and a half. And it was a good show. The guy did a great job. So they spent a lot of money on this event, and it showed. It was well done. And again, my date, nice guy. Maybe we found a guy worth going on a third date with. We'll see.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. We back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog. Hey, shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my homeboy Lucky Wizard Deals that keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Hit up the HiveMindLabs.com. Thank you to the people who have been purchasing. I appreciate you. Use the discount code everydaypj to save at checkout, man. We also got a special person I want to shout out. Who we gonna shout out? We're gonna shout out Kiana T. Thank you for the Cashapp. I appreciate you. You are a wonderful supporter, man. I'm gonna keep these videos coming for you. Now, back to Dolly date. Shout out to Dolly. Now, this date was a far cry from eating a chicken wrap in a truck. The only thing I worried about when she was in that truck on that date was if that man was gonna pull off and take her to a bank to sign something, you know. Don't end up married twice, Dolly, okay? This guy who took her on this date, well, first of all, they met organically, and I told her, I said, you got to get out there. You got to go to where the men at. And she did. She didn't take my advice, but that's what happened. When I gave that advice, it was right on point. I was like, get out there and meet somebody. You can't get off these apps. There are real, genuine men out there that's just looking for a good time, not looking for anything sexual, and they're not even coming with a bio. They just are who they are. Conversation comes organically, and that's what happened. They were at the restaurant, had a laugh together, caught each other's eye, and began conversation. That's what a lot of people are missing these days. Yes, it's easy to meet someone on an app, but they don't lack the conversation ability. I was watching one of my videos where a crazy ex-boyfriend bust up a girl's car. Well, you know what? I know he met her on an app. And you know how he met her? What's up, baby? What's up, queen? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning, queen. He good morning queened her to death. No conversation. He couldn't have a conversation because the boy wasn't all there. He wasn't all there. So I don't believe at one point that this woman liked him for his conversation. So, fellas, when you want to meet a woman, have something to talk about. Talk about some substance. Some women like for you to talk about yourself. Some women don't. Some women think it's all about them. Find you a woman that's organic with the conversation, whether it be about you, whether it be about her, whether it be about your kids, your jobs, whatever. But also have a woman that's not that's gonna tell you what it is from the get go. But like, I don't want to hear you talk about your baby mama. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna talk about this. We don't want to talk about your past relationships. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about us. I want to know that you really interested in me. And that's what a conversation is. But just how they met, all you have to have is conversation. You don't have to have nothing else. You don't have to know her name. You don't have to know where she works, if she lives in the city. You don't have to know if she drives a car. You don't know have any kids. Know if she has any kids. All you have to know is see what her interest is. Spark a conversation. See where y'all have common likes. If y'all have something in common. Y'all have something in common? Talk about it. And you have a genuine conversation. You don't have to ask her for her name or number. And at the end, you do. You still got to shoot your shot. I'll be watching these gold digger pranks. And I'll be like, these men are shooting at everything. Some say they fake. Some say, I know there are some scripted ones, but a lot of them don't be fake. But that let me know. I also listened to a guy named Dante Nero. He said, you got to talk to 5 women a day. Not even to try to get their number. Just to learn how to open up to a woman. And so when, like I said, these dudes doing these pranks, they know how, they feel confident enough to walk up to a woman. Everyday people don't talk to enough women for them to feel comfortable to just outwardly talk to a woman. I'm not saying talk to women at your job, just talk to women in public. Say, hey ma'am, how are you doing? You have beautiful hair. And they'll be like, thank you. Don't even hit on her. Don't try to get her number. Just be like, oh ma'am, you smell beautiful. What is that you're wearing? Oh yes, that's a fine fragrance. And then call it a day. But you gotta tap into 5 of them daily, because that's what these ladies are missing. They want conversation. They don't want to know, I'm 6'3", I like basketball, I play video games, I got 2 kids, about 1 woman, I have a good job, I make this. I mean, they want to know some of that stuff. But if they reading that in a bio and you fall for it, come on, man. These apps be killing us, killing the dating scene. But anyway, shout out to Dolly. I'ma pray that this is the one that she actually talks about, like going on the third date, which really is the second date, because the first one I don't believe was a date. The first one wasn't a date. The time at the gala, which was great plan. He cheap too, cause he ain't had to pay for none of that. Maybe he did. But maybe it was free. It's a hospital. But if it was free, he got a free date. Got to dress up nice. Was gonna take her to get some wine, which wouldn't have cost him but maybe $16. Okay, she drove an hour and a half away. Luckily, she didn't get no wine, because Dolly would have got those cheeks clapped. She wasn't driving back an hour and a half a little tipsy. Okay, you know how wine to get you. But what I'm saying is, that guy found a nice way, other than the last guy who had the chicken wraps in the truck because he didn't want to tip the waitress. This guy took him to a free dinner at a gala, a hospital gala, whatever, and wowed her over. See, you got to look at the levels of men. Both of them cheap, but one put thought into it. One didn't give a damn. Okay? Anyway, everyday people, man, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.